Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yao Mean of Revolution. And Govan Hernandez found not guilty in the murder of the paper route boss, young Dolph. Before we get into that, be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. You in the House of Revolution. Like, share, subscribe, support the platform. Y'all, well, a dirty, dastardly, disgusting thing happened in the courts. The Memphis political system showed that they corrupt as ever, and they the boule, and they do what they masters say. When their masters tell them to do it, they love crime and mayhem in Memphis. Long live Dolph. Let's get into the content.
You never know what a jury is going to do. We have to respect a jury's decision, even if we strongly disagree with it. And we will continue to do everything we can to make sure that everybody responsible for young Dolph's murder is held accountable.
Prosecutors called him the mastermind behind young Dolph's murder. Today, Hernandez Govan is planning life as a free man. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Greg Hurst. Stephanie is off tonight. We continue our coverage of today's not guilty verdict as the Memphis rapper's fans and loved ones continue their search for justice. WRG's Brian Dillake joins us now live at the Shelby County Courthouse in downtown Memphis. And Brian, two legal teams, two very different reactions today.
Greg, two very different reactions. When you heard the words not guilty read aloud not once but twice on one side of the room where the defense was, you could see a sigh of relief. But on the other side where prosecutors were, they were visibly upset with the jury's decision.
The family obviously was very distraught, did not want to speak to the media, but they did say that they didn't blame the trial team.
Emotions still high after a Shelby County jury cleared Hernandez Govan of all charges.
We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of being not guilty.
Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy saying there is no Monday night quarterbacking when it comes to what should or shouldn't have happened during the trial. He maintains Govan facilitated the 2021 murder of Memphis rapper Adolph Thornton, known as Young Dolph.
And we believe we have sufficient evidence to demonstrate that, otherwise we wouldn't have brought the case in the first place.
Mulroy says while the verdict did not meet his expectations, justice is still being served.
Of the people that were involved, we went to trial and got a conviction against Justin Johnson, who was serving a life sentence. And we also intend to make sure that Cornelius Smith, who has been cooperating and has admitted his role in the murder, will also be held accountable.
Cornelius Smith, one of the admitted shooters, testified against Govan.
This man admitted he murdered them because he wanted the money from the reward that was on the head coming from CMG. And the go-between was Govan. The state in Memphis mudded this case up on purpose, but the feds, I got a feeling, gonna cook their motherfucking goose and gonna hit them boys with superseding indictments and all that type of shit. Cause this the star witness and he didn't already admitted this a pillhead junkie. The only reason he was on the mission, they promised him money. Never forget that. He didn't already admitted. Why do you think he was shooting that paper route? Woo! They promised him $50,000 for that man's head. Come on, bro.
And convicted gunman Justin Johnson. His testimony, a key part of the prosecution's case, claiming he was recruited by Govan for the $100,000 hit ordered by Big Jook of rival record label CMG. The prosecution during the trial bringing up communications between Smith and Govan in the months leading up to Dolph's murder.
Then at 12:10 a.m. or 1000 hours, you have Cornelius Smith's cellular device showing 3 outgoing calls to a telephone number that belonged to Hernandez Govan.
The jury finding reasonable doubt in the prosecution's case, resulting in an acquittal of Govan, who is now a free man.
It's hard to explain.
Keep smiling. Salute to our family at BLACK. Money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolution's real life. Appreciate the love, family. Say them paper out boys on IG congratulating them. I bet they are, because they want to send his ass to the upper room. Appreciate the love, family. Salute. They absolutely want to congratulate him.
The feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I ever experienced. And I'm just happy to be free.
Moroy says while he can't change the jury's decision, the fight continues for justice.
We will continue to do everything we can to make sure that everybody responsible for young Dolph's murder is held accountable.
And now Cornelius Smith is set to have a hearing next Wednesday. We will update you on his case when we learn more.
About it.
Great outcome. What do you have to say about it?
I just want to say thank you to my attorneys, Manny, Robert, Haley, Beth, Handel, my private investigators, everybody for helping me. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to the jurors for getting this right and getting my life back.
And that's the main thing. What was it like during the trial? At what point did you think, hey, wait a minute, I think I have a chance?
Well, I knew I had a chance from the beginning because I knew in my heart I was innocent. And so, it was times during the trial, of course, you get some.
Look at these scandalous ass demons standing next to him. Look at these scandalous ass demons. They'll clutch their purse and lock their doors as this man walk by their motherfucking car where they sitting shaking their head, acting like he's. This is disgusting because they don't give a damn about us or what goes on in our goddamn community. You see what I'm saying? They love this. You understand? These people, they know they sitting more. They're gonna cause more chaos and murder and mayhem in our community like this. They don't give a shit.
Frustrations and stuff here and there, but overall, I knew my innocence would prevail.
And how do we do prepping and everything to do this?
Revolutionary salute to our Queen Chevy Blue for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is way life. Absolutely appreciate the love, Queen. Salute.
Plan for you too.
Well, it's trial. You never know what's going to happen. All you can do is prepare the most you can. There were a lot of sleepless nights and countless hours of preparation for the last, year and a half.
Yes,
I mean, the elbow grease that the team put into this, and with the help of him too, he was an incredibly helpful client. But you just never know what's going to happen in trial or what the jury's going to think. So until closings, pins and needles.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you to my family and the few friends that stuck close by me during this process and knew that I was innocent as well. And they didn't shy away from me. So I just want to thank them.
I'm sorry if you already answered, but when you heard those 5 words, you are free to go. Just that reaction.
You want to know how I felt?
Absolutely.
It's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I ever experienced. And I'm just happy to be free.
How much of a weight is this, lifted off of your shoulders after hearing not guilty, not guilty?
It's a huge weight, I was fighting more so for my son. I have an autistic son, so that's what my fight was mainly for.
What was going through your mind when you heard the attorneys and you heard them say not guilty? What were you thinking then?
I was just thanking God, just praising God, because without him, I don't even know if I would have made it this far.
Look at this clown. Now, once he said R.I.P. to young Dolph, I hate that they dragged me into this. I don't have no idea why those two criminals involved me in this. I'm sorry to Dolph's family. You ain't hear none of this. Because the nigga know he is. And these two devils standing next to him know goddamn well he's guilty as shit too.
He gave me the strength.
What was that feeling this morning when you got up? Was there a feeling of nervousness because Mr.
Revolutionary salute to our family at BLACK money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolution's way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. You say all jokes aside, we need a justice system that deals with morality and not made up laws that benefit the boule and their masters. Preach. You absolutely right. Appreciate the love, family. Salute. This is a travesty. You know, this is a travesty of justice. Revolution's way of life. Salute, family. For so many different ways. For reasons. Long live Flip. But it's real people being charged with crimes they did not commit who really need these people to help them. And these people waste all their time freeing a guilty ass man. This is crazy. This is crazy. These real people did not commit it. They need some help. They really don't have the resources to go against their white supremacist beasts they face it in the court system. And you telling me these people wasted, they're not even supposed to take the case if it smelled funny. They took it anyway. That's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. They know damn well this man guilty. They not freeing no innocent man. Just think about this, what this do for the Innocence Project. Come on, bro. They know damn well this is not no innocent man that they have freed. That's ridiculous, man.
Mr. Manny over here was like he was lighthearted today. So did that sort of rub off? Because you know energy is contagious. Did it rub off?
Well, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, of course I was nervous waking up. But when I made it to my attorneys, of course that all goes out the window because they're always positive and confident. So, you know, it was a big help having them.
You talked a lot about your son. I sat at the very back row this whole time, but I saw you constantly looking back at your family. How important was it to look back, see your family here throughout the entire trial?
Hey, Mr. Govan, sorry guys, the judge has requested we don't do interviews in the courtroom. We'll catch you all outside.
Thank you.
This shit got me so pissed, fam. I was locked up with a few innocent motherfuckers, and to see that these people done wasted the Innocence Project on a fucking scumbag like this, bro. Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
State of Tennessee versus Hernandez, Govan, count 1. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2.
That shit so fucking crazy, bro.
We, the jury, found the defendant.
This shit so crazy. My nigga Cornelius didn't even know fucking Justice Johnson. That nigga Cornelius got on the stand for the first time in his fucking life, told the motherfucking truth because he wanted this deal. So he told the truth. He didn't even know Justice Johnson. Didn't want to be in a stinking rap video because he didn't want it to inherit their beef. Who made him go to that video? This nigga. Come on, man. And he was already putting in work on against Pre for this nigga before they brought Justice Johnson in on it. And he told you Bobby, his partner who stayed across the street from this nigga, the one who, man, this is crazy, motherfucker, that they did this, bro. I mean, really, it's a slap in the face to the black community. They don't give a fuck, nigga. This is crazy. This is crazy. No, this is a travesty of justice on a whole nother level, bro. Dolph getting murdered, but what they're doing in our community. The Innocence Project people, they're free the guilty man. And they supposed to help black people. We're helping you. Are you fucking crazy? Revolutionary salute to our family at BLACKS for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is well life. Appreciate the love. And say this, the first case I've ever seen where the shooter is ratting and he beat the A. And he beat it. You have the shooter. Imagine Sammy the Bull getting on the stand and saying, got it. And the people saying, nah, it's just not enough. We need more. What? Sammy the Bull, the rat, Cornelius tell you, man, I done all this for the money. I'm a pillhead. I have nothing going for me. They promising me a big payday. So I got on Dolph track. Tell you the truth. I didn't have no problem with Dolph. Nah, that's not enough. We need more evidence. That's crazy, bro.
Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am,
Court in session. That's disgusting.
ma'am, Ms. Johnson,
They don't
is this your verdict?
like Michael Jackson.
Is this your verdict?
Is
Is
this
this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Everybody in that
Is this your
jury,
verdict?
they need to
Is this
everybody
your
in that
verdict?
jury, they need to be fairly checked, their finances, see what 10 months from now still ain't true. Don't try to duck off on no vacation because this is a travesty. This is crazy. What the hell were y'all listening to in court? They could have never got on Dolph trail without this nigga. This nigga, they didn't even know about a motherfucking turkey drive. This turkey told him what to look for. And then the killer telling you, I ain't had no guns. These niggas giving me the guns to kill the people. That still wasn't enough. That's crazy.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service.
Only way I can understand this, if the whole city, the whole courtroom, the jurors, the judge, everybody want this man dead. The only way this makes perfect sense to me is the joke is really on this nigga and he can't see everybody want him dead. Other than that, this don't make no sense.
Exactly what the court asked you to do, which was to sit, listen to all the proof, and come to a decision. You are excused.
Jury is excused.
Thank you. Go
ahead, y'all. Court still in session.
Mr. Hernandez Govan,
Hit on Dolph.
the jury of your peers having found you not guilty of all charges, sir, you are free to go.
Thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome. You may come off the record.
Court's in recess. That bootleg, corrupt ass court. That clown Cornelius just getting some nigga. He got a bigger practice. That's what happened. That's what happened. Cornelius didn't know this clown. His homie Bobby, who's still across the street from this nigga, this pill dealer. And that's why I hate this shit. It's crazy. Clown ass niggas, bro. Killed Dolph. Nobody stiffed these niggas for the money. But this bitch ass nigga right here, it's the story got to end horribly for him. Because this shit ain't right, bro. Dolph still dead. Cornelius, he didn't get paid. This nigga ain't get convicted. Jook dead. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am. Judge sheets.
I need judgment sheets as to each count. Get the clerk to help her do record. Yeah, but Mr. Your local counsel can help you. Mr. Dorn, I'm sorry, Mr. Dorn.
These people crazy. Every time I release them, come on, crazy. Who the fuck is them jury? Look at these demons. Look at these devils. They wouldn't get this man a ride home. None of these devils to get this man a ride to his car right now. Give him a ride to his house. Oh no, I left something. I left my stove on. Huh? They would bet they won't get this man a ride. They sitting there hugging him. They love him and all that type of shit. But they will leave this courtroom as soon as they get outside. He stand next to him. They'll clutch their purse. He's like, oh shit. I'm sorry. I just thought you was one of the bad ones. Yeah, they think it's a game. They think this is a joke. They would never release that motherfucking killer back into their motherfucking neighborhood. Nope, they never did that. Now, why don't they let that man move in with them? I can't trust the Innocence Project people no more. That's real talk. I want to see people who innocent come home. I can't trust them. Now that I see the innocent people got Govan off, whoa, y'all. How many killers y'all done let out of prison? How many of them niggas lied to us? Talking about the evidence was, yes, the evidence was there. For real, bro. Hell no, man. This shit now. We gotta look deep into the Innocence Project. How many killers are y'all letting back onto the fucking streets Talking about y'all helping black people. No, this case right here gonna blow the lid wide the fuck open. The Innocence Project released the killer. And they supposed to be helping innocent people who locked up, who don't have no resources, get back home to their loved ones. They're not supposed to be releasing a motherfucker who orchestrated no murder.
Emotions are still running high following Hernandez Govan's not guilty verdict. Dr. Joseph Kiles and the Reverend Dr. Earl Fisher join us now to talk more about this decision and what it means for the community nearly 4 years since young Dolph's death. Gentlemen, welcome back to
Memphis Boule sided with Gotti because he part of the Boule. Y'all got to understand that. He part of the Memphis Boule. They have a strong chapter in Memphis, one of the strongest chapters. One of the earliest chapters is in Memphis. They started with God. That's how it went all the way smooth. And the Boule got power. Other Masons respect them. You wonder why the white people in Memphis will ride with this? Because them fraternal organizations, they respect one another. And sometimes they bleed over into different organizations. You best to understand that. Why you think the fuck the Boule just honor Joe Biden after the end of his presidency? The Boule honored him. The Freemasons honored Joe Biden. Well, they picked Gotti, you see what I'm saying, openly, but the feds could not give a fuck about none of that and ruin all of their parade. That's a fact. But the city is showing their hand.
3 at 3, good to see you both.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Fisher, let's begin with you. When I called you this afternoon, you seem very surprised by this verdict. Why?
Yeah, well, first, I eulogize young Dolph. I eulogize his aunt, who likely died of a broken heart after her nephew was murdered. And so I think all of us who are trying to be objective about this are disappointed in this. And not because I'm rooting for another black man to go behind bars any more than I'm rooting for any more black people to die by gun violence. But there seems to be something in the air where these cases that seem to be on their face, open and shut and obvious cases, ending up with verdicts not much different than Tyree Nichols' murder and the police officers who we all thought would be found guilty, who were acquitted of all of those charges. And then now you had a DA again saying, I'm disappointed, but I respect the outcome. And so I think even Govan's attorney said, that we need to investigate how we keep coming up into this space. And so I'm concerned. My heart goes out to the family, and I don't think anybody really wins in the long run with this.
Yeah, Dr. Kiles, let's bring you into this as well. You have watched so many cases like this over the years. How do you see this?
Well, Alex, it's a very sobering subject. And as a theologian, I look through a second set of eyes, a spiritual set of eyes. We see in many cases our peer cities that have crime czars. They bring them in to work with law enforcement. What Memphis needs is a youth and young adult empowerment czar. We need to start working at the elementary and the middle school ages. Violence is rampant through our community, particularly in areas that are dominated.
Revolutionary salute to our brother B.I.G., the big intelligent gentleman, for donating 5 core-figure memberships to the audience. Revolution is way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love. Big salute. Y'all who got them, try to keep them and help us keep the lights on here at the House of Revolution. Salute. Like this brother is the Boule. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, Boule member? Y'all are corrupt in this city. The Boule done held a stranglehold in the city too long. Y'all loving this murder, this mayhem, this crime. Y'all know damn well what happened here. You see? Well, we need to get some program. Boy, the program is locked their ass up, though, way the motherfucking key. Get tough on crime. Shit. I tell you ass what. Trump gonna send them federal troops to Memphis next. We don't want to hear no whine, no crying, and talk about no. When Trump send them federal troops to Memphis, I don't want to hear nobody talk about racism neither. No, you can thank these goddamn bootlicking shoe shiners for the feds coming to Memphis real soon, the National Guards and all that shit.
Dominated and populated with brown people. We've got to fix this, and we have to look at it like it is a disease. And the way we do that is create opportunities for them to be engaged with positive mentors, have opportunities to access resources, behavioral scientists. What we need is to create a university for individuals to come through this process that when they come out, they will have positive social experiences.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Fisher, as a community, as a whole.
Nigga, I know what the fuck the Boule when I hear. You Boule always want to try to get y'all hands on them young boys to bring them into the craft. And then y'all want them to be fraternal and be the Greek freaks. Hell no. You want to stop this shit? You need to lock up criminals. Criminals don't need to be getting all these second chances to continue their crime sprees in our fucking neighborhoods. You understand that? You crooked ass city politicians and you too, wherever your ass is, you need to be in them streets, letting them gangbangers know the time is over for that shit. And then poison pushes know it's over. Get your ass out that studio and in them goddamn streets. I'm sick of niggas talking we got to talk to the babies. The babies ain't killing and selling drugs. Why you don't want to talk to them niggas? I heard none of y'all talking we got to talk to the blackface Ku Klux Klan. That's who you got to talk to, not the babies. Y'all always trying to get y'all hands on them babies and shit go wrong. Don't come out right. Fuck no. Y'all got to face y'all fear and talk to the niggas who doing all the killing, the dealing, and the stealing, you heard me?
So, I mean, this one really hits and digs deep for a lot of folks. I mean, not just in Memphis. There were a lot of folks who were just diehard fans of young Dolph, his music, what he meant to them. And a lot of people are now kind of wondering, where do we go from here with this?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. I echo and affirm what Brother Cowles is saying. And I'm also thinking about it from a spiritual lens as well as it relates to justice. And this just doesn't feel like a just verdict. And what Govan said himself was that this
preaching truth. Because he said he did Dolph's funeral and his mom's funeral. You better preaching truth. Next nigga next to him, the Boule. He's telling the truth. He's trying to stay calm. But this ain't no goddamn justice. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all gonna start more violence. If you just lock the man up, maybe this could have calmed down. Now, you're gonna start more violence now. People gonna be like, what, they can't get him? You might get innocent people killed behind y'all bullshit. Memphis don't deserve it.
System is corrupt. Mm-hmm. And so part of what people across the country and across the globe are trying to sift through are the remains of so many broken lives and a system that touts justice but doesn't seem to manifest it in moments like these. Mm-hmm. So what we need is all of what Brother Cowles recommended and a much more robust conversation about what is happening in what I like to call our criminal injustice system.
How concerned are you both, though, about, it seems like in Memphis, again, emotions happen running high, especially in lieu of what just happened today, about making sure the community stays calm and cool. Are you concerned about any potential violence?
Well, you know, I sent my mother a text last week and it just said, blessed are the peacemakers. She immediately responded, for they will be called the children of God. And I think about the dynamics of our city and what we're dealing with. It's an epidemic, but it's not only an epidemic in Memphis, it's an epidemic across all chocolate cities. Mm-hmm. And so what we have to do is find solutions to have better behavior. And we're seeing this. Over 100,000 students in Memphis City schools, Memphis and Shelby County City schools, there's a large percentage that come from violent atmospheres. Mm-hmm. And we've got to change that paradigm. There's got to be a paradigm shift.
Dr. Fisher, you as well. Do you think there is any potential people will act out because of this verdict? And what are you hoping?
I always hope for the best, but I'm sober enough and pragmatic enough to understand as long as it is easier for people to get access to guns and drugs than it is for them to get access to jobs that make them feel confident in a career or education that puts some, I would say, Black consciousness in their brains. Mm-hmm. We always have to worry about situations like this spilling over into something much more negative and not something much more positive, which is what I hope we all hope for. But that means all of us have to roll up our sleeves and do the best we can to stop these instances from occurring so often.
That's for sure. Dr. Cowles, we saw the state called 8 witnesses, including young Dolph's sister, his head of security, the confessed killer, Cornelius Smith, Smith's girlfriend. What went wrong, you think?
Well, outside of this particular case, Alex, I'm often thinking about the opportunities that we've seen throughout this cycle. This is a vicious cycle. So that, we're seeing families, communities, one person gets killed today on this side of the argument, another person gets killed. So at some point, we have to stop the killing. And I'm not certain on.
You see the Boule just did? You see, it's a vicious cycle. One person gets killed on this side of the argument. Boule, who on the other side of the argument? You still don't want to say Gotti and CMG. You still don't want to say who was he beefing with? Boule member? So it got to be two sides of the argument. Now you said one person got killed on one side. Who was on the other side? Come on, bro. This shit disgusting.
On the legal parameters, but I do know from the spiritual side, we need to have our churches invested in teaching conflict resolutions. It should be a conflict resolution ministry in every church, teaching our individuals in this community, should be having conversations with our families, teaching conflict resolution, so our children won't be enticed to take whatever.
Okay. When God tried to kill Dolph in LA, his partner shot Dolph. Why you didn't go talk to him about conflict resolution? When Black Youngster was arrested because he rented a van in the Carolinas and they shot at Dolph 100 times, where was your ass at talking about to go talk to them about conflict resolution? I mean, brother, you want to talk about when was you going to do anything? When was you going to try to resolve this stuff, Pastor? It's real easy to get on TV, nigga, because you get paid to say this shit, but you're not actually doing it in the community. That's why everybody killing real, because your ass just sit up here, make this money from the city, get 10% from whoever you preaching. They shouldn't get your ass one fucking quarter. Your members is losing flock. Little Betty, little sister Betty, her son dead. You know, brother Deacon Wallace, his nephew got killed. The mother of the church, mother Mary, her son got killed. And here you is talking about conflict resolution. Get the fuck out of here, hustler.
Whatever it is to go out and be an urban mercenary. We have too much of that going on in all of our chocolate cities.
And Dr. Fisher, the last word is yours. What are you hoping here? What did you see with the prosecution itself? I know I got a number of phone calls from people saying, well, what happened? What happened with the DA's office in this? Why was their case so weak?
And this is why we rely on people like you to ask them those questions so that they can explain for themselves. I'm not trying to be an armchair quarterback. But I, too, as I said at the beginning, look at this case on its face and say it seems like it would be an open and shut case. So something seems to have gone wrong. Not much different than what happened when Tyree Nichols was killed. I appreciate what Dr. Kyles is saying about what churches should and must do, and I try to do my best to make sure I'm living into that. And at the same time, as long as we are in a system and a structure that makes this type of action more appealing, and in some instances seem to cover and coddle this type of violent behavior, I think we are still swimming upstream, and we have to do more about that.
And Dr. Fisher, Dr. Kyles, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, sir.
Especially today. Let's continue these conversations.
Now to ABC 24's Kevin McNamara, who joins us now with a guest to kind of help break down some of what this means. Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Ruben. I'm joined by Alex Wharton of the Wharton Law Group. Alex, thank you for being here. I guess, what's your first reaction? First question.
Well, I wish I could say I was a soothsayer and predicted it, but I did not. Somewhat surprised, especially considering some of the lesser included offenses that the jury was instructed that they could consider. But as we heard, this was a very short trial, 3 days of actual proof and some proof from the defense, which is not that common. And then we get to a verdict in less than 24 hours worth of deliberation. So somewhat surprised, but the juries know what they want to do pretty quickly. And typically, kind of the rule of thumb that we follow as defense lawyers is the longer that the jury deliberates, the better it is for your client. They're discussing certain things, but this was a very limited amount of information, very limited jury verdict form that they had to consider essentially 3 charges, all wrapped around the same thing. So it wasn't a lot of complexity there. It was really about, did they believe the state's main witness or did they not believe it? And that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like in a case like this, there's not that much physical evidence to deal with at all, right?
That's correct.
The state was never alleging that Govan was the man who pulled the trigger.
Right.
So his argument is, why are you believing what?
Correct. The entire case is credibility of what he says, Cornelius says, as opposed to, well, we don't have to say anything as the defense, but do you believe the state's main witness? A young man who has a lot to gain or lose based upon his testimony, and not just this trial, but prior trials, who's facing the same charges, who was actually admitted to be the gunman, the one with the most powerful weapon. And so when you deal with that, and then a lack of true evidence, no concrete text messages to show, yes, we got him, or this is the plan, or we're here, nothing, no content. The only thing that I understand that state to have produced to the jury for them to consider were you've got multiple phone calls. And for Mr. Govan to be the admitted dealer of the state's main witness of supplying pills and all those things, that would not be a surprise if you've got multiple contacts, they live in the same neighborhood. You can't just go off of, well, I called this person a ton of times to prove a conspiracy case. That's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, so what happens now then?
Well, I think as the state someone alluded to in their closing argument yesterday, and someone in the way of the proof through one of the law enforcement witnesses, are there additional parties who could be complicit in the conspiracy? I don't know if that's the case. We heard Mr. Mims' name mentioned a lot, but he's now deceased. So obviously nothing can come of that. It just, I think they need to take a step back and probably regroup and see if the investigation needs to go anywhere or if it just rests there. They do have at least two of the individuals, the most complicit, the actual shooters, accepting responsibility in one case and being found guilty in the other case.
Yeah, so do you think this makes it more or less likely that they're going to be able to go after, higher up parties?
Less likely. I mean, you would be putting the state's main witness on now for a third or fourth or fifth trial. And every single time that he goes and gets on the stand, the hope as a defense attorney is his testimony changing.
Revolutionary salute to our family. That BLACK money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolutionary real life. Appreciate the love. Family said the man shot out 22 times. You saying his testimony ain't valid. What are we doing? The Boule is trying to cover his tracks. The Boule just said Big Jook is dead, so we can't go nowhere with that. Big Jook worked for CMG. What the fuck? CMG is not dead. That company CMG is alive and kicking. This is the Boule trying to cover their tracks for Gotti. What the fuck you mean? Big Jook worked for CMG. What the hell are you talking about? Same thing going over there with Dirk, yo. His company is under pressure. His label is under pressure. CMG supposed to be under pressure, not just Big Jook. The lawyer crazy. They think it end with Jook. No, it don't. It shouldn't.
And bit by bit, piece by piece, it's just like he becomes a weathered person at that point. I mean, that's a taxing thing to be on the stand, multiple trials for multiple hours at a time, and have to remember and be consistent with everything.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it was a pretty quick trial. We were to come to this conclusion within just 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Seems like the jury knew kind of what they were going to come to.
Well, I don't know if that's the case that they knew. I mean, obviously, from a human perspective,
they
they're told
decided
not
quickly.
Exactly. I mean, it was one of those things that they probably had to go back into the jury deliberation room and say, do we believe what he said, the state's main witness? Forget what the girlfriend said for the most part. Law enforcement's testimony wasn't really helpful whatsoever. The autopsy, it was what it was. But does this young man's testimony line up? And do we have enough? And what a lot of people fail to remember is that it's not just beyond a reasonable doubt. It is beyond a reasonable doubt for a criminal case. But in our jury instructions, as Judge Johnson Mitchell read to the jury yesterday,
if his testimony don't line up with straight drop, y'all gotta release straight drop, because you convicted straight drop with that same testimony, so it's not adding up. How you convict straight drop, but you can't convict Govan Hernandez? It's the same testimony. The man making the same testimony.
It requires
now
moral
all
certainty.
he did was tell you who got him in straight drop to commit the goddamn murder to begin with.
And that level of certainty that you would exercise in your most important affairs, where to put a sick parent, where to move, things higher than that, quite frankly. What to do about a parent who's suffering with the deliberate, just a horrible illness or sickness. Those are the levels of certainty that you have to have when convicting a person, because truthfully, you're obviously taking the person's freedom away. And the jury knows the stakes, even though they don't know the potential consequences and aren't told about the punishment options. They know the consequences. You're dealing with the most serious offense of first-degree murder. And when you do that, the state better come correct with enough evidence to let you rise above that level of certainty from a moral perspective that you need to have to convict.
Yeah, it's a great point. What do you think this means for Memphis then? Young Dolph is such a loved figure here. You've got someone on trial being the alleged mastermind. Does it feel that justice is served? It's hard to say.
I don't know. His
these people done pick sides. It's plain Memphis Boulay has chosen Gotti. They went with that Boulay structure. Gotti is in now. You see what I'm saying? He's in now. And this structure of Boulay and Freemasons running throughout this court system. And the white Freemasons love using these. See, these black Boulay members, they love using them. And they laughing their ass off right now that they have used the Innocence Project to release a killer to the black community. They have used the Innocence Project, and they all know that man guilty. And they showing you they laughing because they showing you the Innocence Project people release killers into the black community and pretend like they done did a fucking good thing. See, now that sins are forgiven. They don't owe you no fucking reparations. You see, they freeing people.
Iconic status and his legendary status, not just in the music industry, but what he's created with his label record. I think that continues to go on. I think we need closure, right or wrong. The verdict is what the verdict was. We can disagree with it, we can agree with it, but we have to respect it. And we have to look forward, quite frankly, as to what we can do as a city, not only to honor the legacy of Mr. Thornton, young Dolph, but bigger than that. You know, how do we cultivate additional artists, young artists, let them do it the right way? We've got young artists coming up now who we can support.
Revolutionary salute to my brother Deke, the Cosmos, for the donation to the war chest. Revolutionary way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Say Hotel Revolutionary salute to your co-figure. March them phonies. Keep applying pressure to these shoe shining buck dancing bootleg ass house niggas. You already know. Revolutionary way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Bootlegs exposing themselves, and they want this to go away. They got us fucked up. We back to blogging on their ass. We gonna uncover a lot now. They got the community of Memphis. We ride with the community of Memphis. You're not going to be releasing killers into the community and think we're going to let you get away with that shit. This nigga talking about move on. The hell with you, house nigga, you Greek freak, you fraternity bootlicking shoe shiner. You don't tell us what to do. You got us fucked up. This was an unjust thing you did, nigga. What the hell you know about what happened to Dr. King, too? We coming to straighten that out, too. Your granddaddy probably was in on that, shoe shiner.
Support, continue to encourage them to preach in their own method. The right things, you know, that you can make it out of the worst of circumstances, but you don't have to stay there. You know, give them something higher to look forward to. So I think that's the message for the city. We've got great talent here. What we do to encourage that and foster that
my brother got something else to say. So to our brother, that BLACK money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolution's way of life. He said, what has happened to our race? Look at this. You hear this man just like, you hear him, brother? Do you hear this bootlicker shoe shiner? What he's saying? This bring closure. Nigga, who the hell you talking to? There ain't no closure. We're more pissed than we're more pissed than ever because see, I told y'all there's two things that have happened here, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Dolph was murdered. The Boulay trying to cover it up, but these bastards, because we about justice, criminal justice reform. We want to bring home innocent people. I'm gonna keep telling y'all, they just wasted it. It's a person rotting in prison, innocent right now. They was busy freeing Govan Hernandez, a nigga who set up Dolph and got him killed. Hell no, bro. So we just not gonna go after the Boulay. Now I got to look into these people. Who are these white people who just did that? We got to look into them. We can't let them ride off to the sunset. Y'all crazy? You released a fucking criminal, a killer, and overlook real innocent people. You clout chase Dolph fucking name so your ass to be on TV. And you got this criminal released back into the motherfucking streets, man. Ain't no closure. We're not gonna let that go. And this bootlicking Greek freak right here, he got us fucked up. But this the type right here. Think he's so smart, so learned. He's gonna help the community. What you been doing? Where you been? They been killing and stealing and carjacking and killing everything in Memphis. Where the fuck you been? See, these niggas love to get these type of speeches in on TV, in City Hall, never in the streets. When they gonna fucking roll up their goddamn sleeves, gonna tell some of this shit to them killers, them gangsters. He telling us he won't closure. You just released the killer back into the motherfucking streets. Now niggas who try to give it a chance, they gonna act crazy now. You done that to Memphis. Y'all done that to Memphis, bro. When more bodies drop, you can thank your motherfucking self. Some people just said, just lock this nigga ass up, man. Hey, they can forget. They don't love Dolph, but they love Dolph. But fuck it, Jook dead, lock him up. They hate got it. But you let this nigga go. Now they pissed. And they can't let it go.
is what's most important, and that will be the ultimate honor of young Dolph's legacy.
Yeah, and then from the state side,
you ever
this is now the
fucking speak of
second
Dolph's legacy?
high-profile case in recent months in which they
About
failed
no
to secure a
Dolph.
conviction. It feels like is that say anything about kind of the prosecutorial ability?
I don't think so. I mean, sometimes you have the proof and sometimes you don't. Defense attorneys, we're accustomed to taking a lot of punches. I would say, any defense attorney who says that they have a perfect record is probably pleading their.
You know how many times they convict a nigga because a nigga understand and say he did it. It was his shit, and they bam, that's it. That person you did. Do you know how many times that happened? Y'all out there know how that's every day, all day. All they need is a nigga say it was you. You ain't have to done shit. Sometimes it's the first two. Whoever make the deal first, you don't want to get the deal. All the rest of you niggas cooked. Cornelius made the deal first. Everybody else supposed to be cooked. That's a fact. Oh, not in this situation when you're dealing with the Memphis Boulay. You can have the killer say, I'm finna give it all up. Just give me my deal. This send me the bull. I'm going to give you Gotti. I'm going to give you the Gambino family. I'm going to wrap it on a boat. Nah, that ain't enough. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Their clients out every single time that they get. So you preserve a perfect record.
Right.
But those
Blind
who go
man,
to trial.
blind man can see what's
would-
going on here, man. Revolutionary Showtime family at BLACK. Money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolutionary way of life. My brother said the bully are the softest, the weakest of our race, but we're going to deal with them. This case right here, I'm telling y'all, it's going to get, because a lot of people, Memphis, black people have not been paying attention. A lot of us would say Boulay, they're not paying attention. The Boulay did this. You will wonder to yourself, why the fuck would the white people allow this? They ain't a Boulay because they're Freemasons. And they all blend in and deal with one another. The Freemasons is laughing that blacks is willing to do this to their own people. And that this nigga want to come on here and talk about Dolph's legacy. Bitch, I set Dolph up. And then you let one of the main niggas walk free. And you talking about closure. Because you don't want Gotti and CMG to get brought down. Then you say, well, Big Jook died, so there's nowhere we can go there. That bitch ass nigga not CMG, he worked for CMG. Fuck you mean? Any 100,000, 50,000 is getting paid, bitch, that come from CMG. Gotti. They think we stupid. We ain't letting this go. Schoolboy. Don't stick your toe in the streets.
And so we have to get used to it. But the state typically is going to have a 90+% conviction rate. So that's a hard task to continue to do, especially in a conspiracy case where you don't have anyone else to testify to support the main witness of the state of Tennessee. So I think they regroup. They'll continue to prosecute the lesser profile cases, but those that are just important or as important as this case. So their work goes on. I don't have any concern or questions about the ability of the prosecutor to do their job from here.
Yeah. How rare was this sort of case then, generally speaking, where you don't have, again, there's no allegation that the man on trial is the one who pulled the trigger here?
Yeah, I mean, that is a very rare case because there's nothing other than that main witness. The other co-conspirator, straight drop, can't remember his actual name, but he was convicted already. And he's not testifying to help the state whatsoever. So it rests with this young man's credibility. But conspiracy cases, by and large, on the state.
Now, listen to what he's saying. This man's credibility. Straight drop was convicted. How the fuck did you get the straight drop convicted? Cornelius convicted straight drop. They're not going to get away with this. Cornelius was credible to convict straight drop, but he not credible to convict the nigga who hired them to do the hit? Man, quit the fuck out of here. Y'all think we stupid? If he not credible to convict Govan, he wouldn't be credible to convict Justin Johnson. They fucked up with that one. Justin Johnson probably going to get an appeal and beat that case, bro. That's going to be the craziest part. The nigga who probably going to be the only nigga hit with this case is the nigga who said he did it. I'm telling y'all, man.
Stateside are very rare.
These people are crazy.
And if they have those, typically they want to have more than just the word of the individual. They want to have things that corroborate. They try to do that with the cell data, but that only gets you so far. That just shows that calls were made. It doesn't talk about the content of the calls or the discussion. There's no recording. There's no Facebook messages or exchanges. So they want to have something that supports that, even if you don't have the smoking gun as to prove, hey, that
now all of a sudden you need evidence to convict black people in the courts in America. What? You need no fucking evidence. You have more evidence than I've ever seen in my life. It's a bunch of niggas cannot believe that this nigga walked and they is locked up for way less. Circumstantial evidence. You fit the description. That the description don't even fit you. You ain't got the gun, none of that type of shit. You still get locked up and sentenced. Come on, bro.
Place, you have enough circumstantial evidence to convince the jury, hey, look, this is what I mean when we say beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty.
Yeah. So is this kind of the closing of the book then, in your eyes?
I would estimate so, unless something drastically unknown or unforeseen happens. I mean, we're talking about an incident that took place now almost 4 years ago, in November. You would think and hope that law enforcement has turned every corner and stone that they could to identify those people who were involved.
You ain't gotta hope. You ain't gotta hope. They already proved on trial they didn't. When Govan Hernandez lawyer proved that the lead detective did not never question Big Jook, who they was, see, that's crazy too. The whole time Govan Hernandez and his lawyer is pointing the finger at Big Jook. They're saying you should be looking at Jook, who Cornelius is telling you. Imagine this. Govan Hernandez lawyer never said Big Jook was not in the fucking house with him and Cornelius. No, they're saying, listen to what Cornelius is saying. It's Big Jook who took over the conversation and who starts saying it's money on people's head that's so fucking crazy to let this nigga go. Govan lawyer never said that didn't take place in Govan house. He's saying it did take place. But it's Big Jook who was the one bossing people around and giving the orders about the money. Okay, cool. But that's the conspiracy right there that Govan is a part of. That's crazy.
Never say never, but I would be highly surprised if anything else comes of the prosecution.
All right. Well, Alex Wharton, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. There's a lot of great info.
Ass nigga, you part of the fucking reason all that shit going on. House nigga. You don't wish the best for no motherfucking Memphis. I just hope this bring closure. For who, bitch? You wish, boy, Boule boy. This is only the beginning.
That led to a not guilty verdict. We're also going to explain the possibility of CMG and Yo Gotti potentially being charged in the future. We're also going to break down why a not guilty verdict was the worst possible option for this dude, because being in jail and being incarcerated is a whole lot safer than him being a free man.
State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am.
Court to the session.
Ma'am. Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service this week.
This trial was never about guilty or not guilty. We knew the answer to that going into this trial. The question was, can you prove he's guilty? Do you have enough to prove he's guilty? And when you look at exactly how this young Dolph murder was set up, they was very strategic. They were not on the phones discussing this. They weren't discussing this through text messages. This was literally, hey, bro, come to the spot. We got a bag on his head. The message went out in the streets, and they weren't tapping in or checking up with nobody, bro. If you collect the bag, you collect the bag. But we not tapping in with nobody to make sure a murder take place. And that's exactly how this took place. So there was no paper trail. There was no communication trail to lock in Hernandez Govan. All you really had was the testimony from the actual shooters and the killers, which when you put somebody who committed a murder on the stand, their credibility is always going to be called into question. All right, now seeing Hernandez Govan give us those crocodile tears, to me, was something to watch, right? It was something to behold, bruh. People are sociopaths, homie. After the not guilty verdict, this man looked that camera in his eyes, and he was cosplaying a father of 4 who he never committed a crime in his life. Look how cold Hernandez Govan played it after the not guilty verdict.
I just want to say thank you to my attorneys, Manny, Robert, Haley, Beth, Handel, my private investigators, everybody for helping me. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to the jurors for getting this right and getting my life back.
And that's the main thing. What was it like during the trial? At what point did you think, hey, wait a minute, I think I have a chance?
Well, I knew I had a chance from the beginning because I knew in my heart I was innocent. And so, it was times during the trial, of course, you get some frustrations and stuff here and there, but overall, I knew my innocence would prevail.
What I realized, especially watching this trial or even watching a law and crime interview, Hernandez Govan, I realized that a lot of us know a lot more about this case than even like the professionals. Like us who've been covering or watching this case or been in the weeds of this for about 4 to 5 years now, we understand this trial at a level that I don't even feel like the professionals understand. Like, for example, they gave the motivating factor. They attributed Hernandez Govan motivating factor to be involved in this young Dolph murder to, he wanted the bag, or, he was connected to CMG for music opportunities. Yeah, that's it. But no, like Hernandez Govan considered J Money and D Money like his nephews. That was the number one motivating factor, but it wasn't brought up in court. Hernandez Govan is over at J Money and D Money's mama house eating gumbo. They've been like neighbors for years. J Money, obviously, we know, was a rapper from Memphis. He was popping. He was with Chief Keef. He was rolling around, but he was also like Young Dolph's mentee, Young Dolph's right hand. J Money and Young Dolph was really close up until his death. Now, when J Money passed away, Young Dolph became a CEO, and Young Dolph was forced to do business with people who ain't really get along with, J Money folks, right? Or D Money, J Money's little brother, or Chula Mafia. Dolph signed Big Unk. Big Unk was supposedly responsible for the death of D Money, J Money's little brother. So when Young Dolph signed Big Unk, D Money's mama is all on Facebook, all on Twitter, cussing out Young Dolph. The streets is talking, songs is being made, calling Young Dolph flawed. And that's when Chula Mafia turned against Young Dolph. And that's when Chula Mafia had their own motivating factor to take out Young Dolph. They weren't just riding around hunting for CMG. No, they were riding around hunting for themselves as well. So when we understand this case at a micro level, that I don't even feel like investigators or detectives understood this case.
I'm sorry if you already answered, but when you heard those 5 words, you are free to go. Just that reaction.
You want to know how I felt?
Absolutely.
It's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I ever experienced. And I'm just happy to be free.
How much of a weight is this, lifted off of your shoulders after hearing not guilty, not guilty?
It's a huge weight, I was fighting more so for my son. I have an autistic son, so that's what my fight was mainly for.
I can't believe it, man. All that ratting we did the last 4 years, and he still beat it. God damn. Now, let's go over to a courtroom reporter who's been following this case just as long as probably I've been following this case. And he breaks down and he explains exactly what he thinks the contributing factors were that led to this not guilty verdict.
The longer that the jury deliberates, the better it is for your client. Mm-hmm. They're discussing certain things, but this was a very limited amount of information, very limited jury verdict form that they had to consider, essentially 3 charges, all wrapped around the same thing. So it wasn't a lot of complexity there. It was really about, did they believe the state's main witness or did they not believe it? And that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like in a case like this, there's not that much physical evidence to deal with at all, right?
That's correct.
The state was never alleging that Govan was the man who pulled the trigger.
Right.
So his argument is, why are you believing what?
Correct. The entire case is credibility of what he says, Cornelius says, as opposed to well, we don't have to say anything as the defense, but do you believe the state's main witness, a young man who has a lot to gain or lose based upon his
Revolutionary salute to our little bro at BLACK money sign for the donation to the war chest. Revolution is a way of life. Absolutely appreciate the love, family. Say they always leave out the part that Dolph was trying to unite the two crews. They failed to mention that. They definitely do, and he definitely was trying to bring everybody together and get the money. But other individuals didn't want that. Appreciate the love, family. Revolution is a way of life. Salute.
on his testimony, and not just this trial, but prior trials, who's facing the same charges, who was actually admitted to be the gunman, the one with the most powerful weapon. And so when you deal with that, and then a lack of true evidence, no concrete text messages to show.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. They can bring that weapon up all they want. And that's why I say he is the one killed Dolph. Cornelius killed Dolph. It was not straight drop. Straight drop was just following behind that man shooting. It's Cornelius who did that with his dope fiend ass wanting them pills, and on them pills, he did it. But what's so crazy, they bring that up, the man with the weapon. Yeah, and he tell you they got the weapons from Govan. He didn't have no weapons. They gave him weapons to go on the mission. The morning Dolph got killed, Justin picked him up in the BMW with the weapons, the white Benz, whatever it was with the weapons in the car. That's crazy. The man told you the truth about every goddamn thing, man, and they still let that nigga go.
Yes, we got him, or this is the plan, or we're here. Nothing, no content.
They even admitted in court that Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, the two killers, that they had no contact with Hernandez Govan for weeks before they went and killed young Dolph, because there was no conversation needed to be had. The bag was put up. We got
hit them and say, "Hey, it's finna be some turkey drops." Now they Dolph hadn't been cited, so there was no reason to hit him on a mission when none of the rappers was in town. It's only to get on a mission when they're looking for the certain rappers. But Govan definitely told them you could catch them at these turkey drives that they finna be throwing. Cornelius admitted he didn't know shit about no turkey drives or nothing else. He also admitted that he didn't even know what none of these niggas look like. After Jook and Govan telling him the names, he got to Google these individuals.
1,000 on Dolph. Whoever collects it first, come at us. Hit us up. Right? But Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson actually contacted Big Jook after the murder before they contacted Hernandez Govan. So if we ain't talked for months before the day y'all murder young Dolph.
But that's the easy. It's easy to know why after they killed Dolph, straight dropped FaceTime Big Jook and told him in sign language, Dolph, letting them know that's their work. It's easy because that's the nigga who had the bag. You didn't hit this nigga, and them niggas thinking they finna get 100 motherfucking grand. They ain't no reason to call Govan right now. We're gonna let Jook know, took care of that business, and then he need to get with us, and we'll tag Govan out. But they was getting with the person who had the money, let the nigga know. For anybody start claiming their body, and the people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Because the people FaceTime Big Jook and let them know, hey, we did that. See, all that go out the window now. That's called, because that's crazy. Excuse me, y'all.
And we ain't really talk afterwards. Y'all got call logs of us going back and forth, but here's the mistake, though. Justin Johnson admitted in court that Hernandez Govan sold him pills, right? He was his drug dealer. So the calls that they were having, the back and forth, that could just be attributed to Cornelius Smith wanting pills. It was hard to really pin him down, especially when there's no text messages or calls weeks before the murder, for weeks, and the day after murder they ain't communicate. So to them bring him to court on evidence this week, to me is just insane and it's crazy, bro. But he would also touch on the possibility that other people could be indicted.
The only thing that I understand that state to have produced to the jury for them to consider were you've got multiple phone calls, and for Mr. Govan to be the admitted dealer of the state's main witness of supplying pills and all those things, that would not be a surprise if you've got multiple contacts. They live in the same neighborhood. You can't just go off of, well, I called this person a ton of times to prove a conspiracy case. That's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. So what happens now then?
Well, I think, as the state someone alluded to in their closing argument yesterday, and someone in the way of the proof through one of the law enforcement witnesses, are there additional parties who could be complicit in the conspiracy? I don't know if that's the case. We heard Mr. Mims' name mentioned a lot, but he's now deceased. So obviously nothing can come of that. It just, I think they need to take a step back and probably regroup and see if the investigation needs to go anywhere.
Mr. Mims, say Big Jook, you boule bastard. Big Jook and CMG. Don't say Mr. Mims. He want to try to be all educated and, all learned. And no, you say Big Jook, goddammit. Let the streets know what you talking about. Now that Big Jook dead. Ha ha. He's smiling. He happy. Whoo, whoo. Now our fraternal brother, Yo Gotti, will be all right. No, he won't. Schoolboy. No, he won't.
Or if it just rests there. They do have at least two of the individuals, the most complicit, the actual shooters, accepting responsibility in one case and being found guilty in the other case.
Yes. Do you think this makes it more or less likely that they're going to be able to go after, higher up parties?
Less likely. I mean, you would be putting the state's main witness on now for a third or fourth or fifth trial. And every single time that he goes and gets on the stand, the hope as a defense attorney is his testimony changing. And bit by bit.
You know how many times the state, if you is going after a criminal organization, you know how many times the state will put the same witness on the stand and convict everybody and tell a story? This man acting like they've used Cornelius enough now. This is crazy, brother. No, you haven't. No, you have not, man. You need to stop this shit. And you see the white guy know what he's doing. He's trying to bait him, but the boule house nigga won't fall for it. He's like, think they're gonna go after any bigger people now? Who bigger? Who is bigger to go after? White man baiting them, talking about Yo Gotti. This shoe shiner like, nah, I ain't gonna go there. This is it. No, this is it.
It piece by piece. It's just like he becomes a weathered person at that point. I mean, that's a taxing thing to be on the stand, multiple trials for multiple hours at a time, and have to remember and be consistent with everything.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it was a pretty quick trial. We were to come to this conclusion within just 3 or 4 days.
Right.
It seems just said telling the truth. It just telling the truth. Telling the truth is just too tough. No, it's not. Cornelius Smith can tell the truth with ease, brother. He's detoxed. That story he could tell that story 100 different times on the stand. It's the truthful story of what happened. But you don't want Cornelius on the stand no more telling the story about he was trying to get the $100,000 from CMG for killing young Dolph.
Seems like the jury knew kind of what they were going to come to.
Well, I don't know if that's the case that they knew. I mean, obviously, from a human perspective,
they decided not quickly.
Exactly. I mean, it was one of those things that they probably had to go back into the jury deliberation room and say,
y'all see that? We caught him. You see this way this shit is good. You caught him. White dude said it seemed like the jury already knew. They did know. The fix was in. Y'all was right. Y'all called it live on TV. This video probably gonna be erased soon. Because the white dude just said it seemed like they knew. No, don't say that. Don't you say that now. We running this city. We the boule. We said it wasn't rigged. That was a good jury. A jury of his peers. Get the fuck out of here, shoe shiner. It was rigged.
Do we believe what he said? The state's main witness. Forget what the girlfriend said for the most part.
Yes,
law enforcement's testimony wasn't really helpful whatsoever. The autopsy, it was what it was. But does this young man's testimony line up?
You disrespectful bitch. That's Dolph autopsy. Oh, it was the autopsy. Was what it was. What? Boy, have some humanity. When you talking about that autopsy, what they did, shot the humanitarian, the civil rights activist, shot that man up 22 times. What's wrong with you? You were jealous, nigga. That's what's wrong. A bunch of y'all niggas jealous of Dolph. This is ridiculous. Jealous ass nigga right here. Boy, you need to be careful before they act like you really in it. You picked a side. I'm trying to tell you, be careful. Going on TV.
And do we have enough? And what a lot of people fail to remember is that it's not just beyond a reasonable doubt. It is beyond a reasonable doubt for a criminal case. But in our jury instructions, as Judge Johnson Mitchell read to the jury yesterday, it requires a moral certainty. And that level of certainty that you would exercise in your most important affairs, you know, where to put a sick parent, where to move, things higher than that, quite frankly, what to do about a parent who's suffering with a deliberate, just a horrible illness or sickness. Those are the levels of certainty that you have to have when convicting a person, because truthfully, you're obviously taking the person's freedom away. And the jury knows the stakes, even though they don't know the potential consequences and aren't told about the punishment options. They know the consequences. You're dealing with the most serious offense of first-degree murder.
For a trial that was only relying on testimony or witness testimony, the witnesses that came up weren't really like that credible, bro. All right, like Cornelius Smith, he's fighting a murder. Like, he killed young Dolph. He got to say whatever he got to say to get out of this.
That's crazy.
The detective came.
I listened to Cornelius, and that bastard told the God honest truth. He didn't stutter. It just was flowing. That's crazy, man. And I'll be damned if they say he's not credible because he been convicted. Why the fuck are y'all locking it? They lock black people up every day off the word of a fucking jailhouse snitch. This is crazy that they act like, well, that's not enough. What? Y'all got to be crazy. Y'all have to, man, there's millions of people locked up because what some nigga got on the stand and said, what some informant said. They just get on the stand and point to you. You sold them something. You ain't sold them people shit. You know how many people locked up? They ain't sold you nothing. Motherfucker, y'all say, yeah, you sold it to me on a bam, got him. Yeah, that's all they needed. Somebody to point you out on the stand and say, it was you. Now, all of a sudden, that's not enough anymore. That's crazy. Nah. Y'all don't open up Pandora's box with this bullshit.
Hernandez Govan attorneys did a brilliant job at making that detective look like a pathological liar. And then the girlfriend came and she testified, but all she testified was, hey, I seen Cornelius Smith and Hernandez Govan link up and afterwards, but I didn't really hear what they were talking about. He just told me that Hernandez Govan had money for him. It doesn't make sense. Now, he touched on the possibility of them pursuing other people. I'll be real, man. If they ain't have enough on Hernandez Govan, they don't got enough on Yo Gotti, bro. Because Yo Gotti is a couple degrees separated from this. Now, who had the $100,000 to put up on Young Dolph's head? Obviously, the head of CMG, which is Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti is the multimillionaire in the situation. Yo Gotti's brother wasn't a multimillionaire. He was doing pretty well for himself. He was the president.
Bro, I'm telling you, the Boule killed Jook. The Boule killed Jook. The Boule killed Jook. They done to save Gotti. The Boule killed Jook. If the police would have got Jook ass, that was gonna be it for CMG, bro. And him, motherfucker, quit. I tell you, I bet you CMG know. I mean, I bet you know that the Boule killed motherfucking Jook. They killed Jook, bro. The police, these crooked ass politicians, and they killed him because the heat was coming down. And if his ass got arrested, because he was for sure the one. They talking about Govan Hernandez. Now imagine Cornelius sitting there pointing at Jook. He said, "You the one told me it's 100,000 in that man's house." Now imagine that. They had to get rid of that man, bro.
President of CMG, but the budget and 100,000 came from Yo Gotti. It had to have come from Yo Gotti, right? From my perspective, my opinion, allegedly, okay? So the bag man is just responsible for, hey, yo, I'm going to cover the 100,000. My brother going to do all the negotiating, all the recruiting. Yo Gotti probably ain't never picked up a phone or talked to Cornelius, Justin Johnson, or Hernandez Govan in his life. In his life. So if you ain't have enough to charge or arrest Big Jook.
Yeah, we're not gonna forget that nigga got in them lawyer was straight drop lawyer for a minute in the beginning of the trial. When that nigga, it was some fishy CMG shit going on with straight drop. While that nigga ass was in jail the first time. Yo Gotti got nervous, and I think they sent that lawyer over there, and then the lawyer got on the case, and then the lawyer backed off the case, I think. But he got on the case to see what was going on, was the nigga snitching, and then he might jumped off the case. But it absolutely was a lawyer who worked with CMG, worked with Black Youngster, worked with Moneybag Yo. That was one of their in-house lawyers. Then all of a sudden, he was straight drop motherfucking lawyer.
You ain't have enough to convict Hernandez Govan. You ain't got enough to charge or damn near get a conviction for Yo Gotti. Forget about it, bruh. Now, Hernandez Govan's lawyer, when he was asked after the not guilty verdict, he also brought up the fact that, yo, go after the real people. Go after the people who is capable of coming up with $100,000 to put on somebody's head. Those people is CMG and Yo Gotti. Yo, don't come after my client because he's like the easy person to pick off because you think that he don't got no resources. And honestly, I feel like that was also a contributing factor, man, is the jury kind of seen themselves in like her Hernandez Govan, right? They seen, man, he's like the poorest one in the group, man. You feel me?
We're not gonna let them get away with that. That Govan lawyer was pointing the finger at Gotti and Jook, saying just because my guy is poor, they coming after us. But Cornelius is telling you it's the big fish who was offering him 50,000, 100,000. My poor, and he kept saying that. My poor client, he's nobody. He kept saying that. He's nobody. But these guys wanted the reward from CMG. These guys wanted the 100,000. Never forget, Govan lawyer absolutely was pointing at Gotti and motherfucking Big Jook the whole goddamn time. So if he was convincing the jurors that it's not Govan, he must have convinced the motherfuckers that it's Gotti and CMG and Big Jook. Come on now.
Feel me? He ain't Yo Gotti. He don't got $1 million. You feel me? Like, he don't got no 100,000 to put up. We're the people that y'all are accusing of putting up the 100,000. Y'all mentioned CMG and Big Jook and Yo Gotti multiple times during the case. What were they at? Why y'all picking on the lower man?
It's disgusting, man.
Okay. I think you get in bed with dogs, you get fleas, and that should have been done all the way through. If I could find
this motherfucker right here, this smooth motherfucker knew what the Boule had done. He knows they're protecting Gotti and didn't want to bring CMG in this because why? CMG is a major label and donates plenty to the city. He's gave plenty to the police department. He gave plenty to different donor charities and different this, different that. Dolph is dead now. They're cutting their losses. They don't want to lose Gotti too. Then who's going to donate all the money to all the different motherfucking stations? And then they can act like they have, a popular rapper from their hometown. These arrogant bastards. And he peeped it. And he said, oh, okay. Well, I'll just blame Gotti and CMG the whole time. And I know y'all ain't going to want to go there. So y'all will have to let my client off, goddamn. Because if you get my client, you definitely going. If you get my client, then you absolutely saying he was the middleman for Jook and CMG.
Find all the holes in the case. After 4 years of police investigations, you darn well know they could have. And I frankly think they shaded things, did whatever they had to do politically to make this a case, and they didn't actually go after the real perpetrators. I'm good.
After the case, come on, he's still doing it. This after the case, he's saying they didn't go after the real perpetrators. What real perpetrators? He's talking about God. Hey, and he's smiling. He may know something that nobody else know. Like, yeah, boy, your face is gonna be on your ass. He just said, he didn't say they tried to let the perpetrators dump it off on his guy. He said they didn't go after the real perpetrators, the higher ups. You heard him.
If I'm Hernandez Govan, not only am I not staying in Memphis, bro, I'm not even staying in the United States. Y'all gonna have to find me in Jamaica or something, bro. Young Dolph and PRE, they have shown they have a unique elite ability when it comes to sliding. They get busy. They gonna get their man, homie. Bro, they got Big Jook. Yo, think about all the people connected to this case that we know of, bro. Right? Yo, I can go down a laundry list of Trula Mafia and CMG affiliates that done died since Young Dolph done passed away. CEO Teasy, he came up in court. He was trying to introduce straight drop to CMG, trying to get them signed. He was also one of the middlemen in this case. He got killed. Big Jook got killed. Yo, if Hernandez Govan feels like he'll be able to stay safe in Memphis, he's out of his mind. Because now he ain't on house arrest no more. Because if you guys remember, when he was like giving bond or bail, they told him, hey, bruh, you can't leave the house. Because we fear if you leave the house, you gonna get killed. We want you back in court. That was one of the stipulations. He couldn't leave the crib. Bro, he tried to get like a work release. They denied it. They said, bro, you gonna die if you go outside. So if he stays in Memphis, man, he's in grave danger. I think is almost a done deal at this point. I don't see Hernandez Govan living a full life. But this is just the price of it, man. It's the price of the streets, bro. You feel me? Yo, you do wrong gonna come back to you, man. But I'm praying for his safety. I'm praying for the safety of everyone. We don't condone violence on this channel. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think, man? Y'all think Hernandez Govan is really not guilty? Let me.
The wages of sin still there. What the hell you talking about, man? All right, listen. You gotta talk to the creator. Why did the creator have such harsh penalties? You know, when you say you reap what you sow, that don't sound like nothing nice gonna happen to you. What have you been sowing? That shall you also reap.
Something. Girl, the state don't want Hernandez Govan. The feds want Yo Gotti. Through all the evidence, through all the cooperation, with that goddamn defendant, the murder suspect pointing the finger at Hernandez Govan, through all the surveillance, through all the cars being parked across the street that they used to go to Makita's cookie shop to do the crime, Hernandez Govan walked right out of that courtroom a free man. Check this shit out.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 1. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am.
Court in session.
Ma'am. Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service this week. You've done exactly what the court asked you to do, which was to sit, listen to all the proof, and come to a decision. You are excused.
Jury is excused. Thank you.
Now let me explain exactly what this means. This case is not a state case. And this was the last defendant involved to be tried in the Young Dolph murder case. So why did they let him just walk free when they had calls, testimonies from the shooter, and evidence of the connection between the shooters and Hernandez Govan? Well, it's about to get real messy and shocking, because this how the feds work. Remember all those attempts on Young Dolph's life that happened outside of Memphis? Remember when they shot at Dolph in California, North Carolina? Remember every time Dolph was shot at, Yo Gotti was in the same city, and Big Jook was too. Remember 2 of Yo Gotti CMG members being arrested for the shootings, and one of them still in jail right now, his main man, Keon. Remember when Black Youngster was facing charges behind the North Carolina shootout? And I know y'all ain't blind. You also see when shit got real in this case, Black Youngster bagged back from CMG. He not an independent artist. He ain't on CMG no more because he knows what Hernandez Govan knows. The feds finna track Yo Gotti finances and try and prove that he conspired the plot to murder Adolph Thornton Jr., Young Dolph, just like they did Diddy. They proved that he financed his fricos. I strongly believe, allegedly, that the feds have tapped the state on the shoulder and told them, fall back. We got this. And I also believe that's why Yo Gotti been real quiet, silent, and moving different out here in the goddamn hip-hop streets. It's clear as day. The only beef that Young Dolph had that went to the streets was with CMG. And things got real bad and escalated when Young Dolph made that hit, 100 shots. And he had another song that really went big, Play With Your Bitch. Those two songs alone was definitely what pushed that $100,000 envelope with Adolph Thornton Jr. name on it. I think Young Dolph should have had armed security in Memphis at all times. Because even though Yo Gotti had that Privé restaurant out there, whenever he came out there, because he didn't stay out there, he stayed in Atlanta. And then he moved down here to Miami. He always have armed security. That's how you got to move. Even when he came back to that funeral with his brother, Big Jook, the one they're accusing that set this mastermind this plot, got killed there. He still had armed security and he got in and got out. See, I know y'all be wanting to think because somebody moving without security that they gangster. That ain't gangster. That's dumb. When you got money and you went from hitting licks, you become the lick. You got to move around in low-key cars. You got to move around with black armor trucks following you, man. You can't be riding around in no camo car. They can spot you and know that's you, following you from the gate. They don't supposed to know what you're in. You know you got money. They ain't got to know you're getting it like that. Because Memphis is definitely the murder capital. But what's finna happen next is going to shock the entire industry. Because the feds finna step in and they coming with hot tea and they going to throw it all over Yo Gotti's shirt. And when they do, it's a 96.5% they get a RICO conviction. But what y'all think? Now I got a question for you. What you think would have happened if Young Dolph signed the CMG? He went from being a barber to signing the CMG. Do you think he would have been bigger or he still would have been alive? Or do you think he made the right decision? Do you think that Young Dolph made the right decision riding around the city in them camo cars without security? He just got his brother, and yeah, they got the sticks, but you gonna need more than that shit because two coming at you and bullets don't got no eyes. That's exactly how he died. Do you think that was smart? Now, I believe that man was strong and smart by taking a stance on his career and controlling his own destiny and not signing with CMG. I believe he created generational wealth just by doing that alone. I feel sorry for his kids. I feel sorry for his widow that gotta lay on her pillow every night and weep herself to sleep, knowing that one of Young Dolph murder defendants is now free and walking the streets, and he probably know where she at. Think about what I'm saying. But I do know how the feds play. Trust me, if you had any kind of federal cases, you know they don't talk, but when they come, they coming with that teeth, and you ain't gonna be able to remove that stain off your shirt because you finna get them 30 years to 50 years. You better ask Boosie. He thought he was off on that gun charge, and they looped back around and got his ass. And I feel sorry for him, but that's how the feds get down. They don't let up when they feel like they got you. And they know they got some on Yo Gotti. They just brewing the tea right now. But when they get the poet, they gonna spill it on his shirt, and he ain't gonna be able to have enough money. I know he got some money, but you ain't got enough money to fight the feds. Ask Puff Daddy. He a billionaire. But y'all comment below and let me know how y'all.
Now, peeps, there has been a major turn in the case of Dolph's murder suspect, Hernandez Govan, and Yo Gotti will be locked up shortly. Now, make sure you watch this whole entire video and like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss nothing. Now, Hernandez Govan, the accused mastermind behind the hit of young Dolph, has been found not guilty on both counts, first degree and conspiracy to commit murder.
Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 1. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am.
And you're wondering, where is that gonna leave CMG? Now, rumors on the street is that Yo Gotti took out his own brother on some Cain and Abel type ish. Now let's break down Gotti's involvement and why for sure he's going down.
And TMZ reports you're on the LAPD's radar in connection to the young Dolph shooting. Me and Home never had one argument. You know what I'm saying? Ever in life. We never touched each other. Ever in life. We never changed no money ever in life. You know what I'm saying? The fact is, I'm the biggest rapper from Memphis. I actually was helping him. I really just wanted to sign him. You know what I mean? Giving them advice. Letting them come out on my shows. You know what I'm saying? Like telling them how the game goes. Letting my people work with them. You know what I mean? Like to advise them on how to build this company up and all that stuff. It was cool. You know what I'm saying?
It appears that right after this event happened, young Dolph took to the Breakfast Club and started dissing Yo Gotti. Now make sure you watch this whole entire video so that you don't miss nothing.
Keep trying to make it a rap beef between you and Gotti though. If it's something about you I just don't respect, bro, I can't sit and fake and act like it's all good. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Right. The first time I even met little dude, go in the studio. First time. You seen everybody out the studio. Like, let me holler at Dolph. Like, man, you got your own everything, bro. You popping. You like, bro, you got the money, you got your team, you got this, you got that. You like, bro, I'm telling you, we can do this, we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't like Zilla. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Zilla. You ain't like Starlito. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Starlito. I ain't gotta babysit you like them. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's my first time meeting you. You gonna really sit and downplay your artist and throw your artist up on the bus to try to persuade me in to come over there? So it's like a red alert the first time I met him.
You feel like
I can't respect that.
I'm flying through the city in a two-seater. Running red lights, blowing up, sir. Being with me, popping pain, smoking Five frankers for my crown of goodwill. My family invested with those things. And shit right in my jeans, cause I'm strong cold dude. Bad bitches show me little broke niggas limp. Snitches telling on me, got the best investigating. The illest nigga in my city, nigga straight up. Leave up niggas mid-grade out. First thing first when I wake up. I brush my teeth and roll up blunt up. This is so good, she make you wanna lay up. I roll up, I'm gonna get you got that hate love. Make some noise for the dog, nigga. Yeah.
Man, everybody in the hood know who killed Big Jook and who that white SUV belongs to. It's a dirty game in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? The problem is the streets don't talk like that. Unless it's a bag or something behind it. And even then, some people still might not talk. But yeah, I know the ones that's behind it. Gotta know the ones that's behind it.
It showed me a different way, like, you really can make it, like, you know?
we stayed by the NBA players and stuff like that. So it was like I never thought I'd be in this position and not be in the streets with it. Like still had the same lifestyle that I was in the streets with this music though. So it took me to another
Dolph,
level. Opened my mind up to show me that there's more out here than selling drugs.
After the passing of young Dolph in 2021 and Big Jook in 2024, many fans are left wondering what is the real story behind the deaths and how did the beef come about. Now, this is the most authentic full story on YouTube and the real story on the beef that ended several lives in the span of just 3 years. Make sure you subscribe and watch the full video so you don't miss anything. August 2014. In 2014, following the release of Young Dolph's mixtape, High Class Street Music 4, American Gangsta, Young Dolph would make an appearance on Sway in the Morning to discuss the project. During the interview, Dolph would touch on his decision not to sign a record deal with Yo Gotti, explaining that he would rather see his own investment in himself all the way through rather than latch onto another artist's movement. Dolph would later point to Yo Gotti taking offense to Dolph's decision as a result of their beef, although Gotti has never confirmed that he was bothered. February 11, 2016. Young Dolph disses Yo Gotti on Twitter. The bubbling friction between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti became apparent on February the 11th, 2016, when Dolph sent a subliminal shot at his Memphis counterpart. Using Twitter to let his feelings be known, Dolph alleged that Yo Gotti wasn't fond of his growing success, tweeting, "Bruh went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater," in reference to Gotti's failed attempt to add Dolph to his CMG label. Despite Dolph not mentioning Gotti by name, it was clear who Dolph's words were aimed at and would set off a chain of events that would result in a deadly beef. February the 18th, 2016. Young Dolph titles his new album King of Memphis. Young Dolph raised a few eyebrows in February of 2016 when it was announced that he would be naming his debut album King of Memphis. Now, this came as a shock as rapper Yo Gotti had repeatedly referred to himself as the King of Memphis, so Dolph's album title seemed like a shot directed square at Gotti. Although Gotti would make no public comment on Dolph's decision, those in the Memphis rap scene, as well as the other rap community as a whole, considered the title a slight towards Gotti and Dolph's attempt at overtaking the Memphis rap throne. February 2016. Young Dolph downplays beef with Yo Gotti. During an appearance on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning show in February 2016, Young Dolph downplayed his beef with Yo Gotti, going as far as to acknowledge the rapper as being one of his earliest supporters. "It's really overstated," Dolph responded when asked about the rumor tension between the two Memphis representatives. Young Dolph also cleared the air about the title of his LP, King of Memphis, stating that it wasn't meant to be a diss of any kind and that it was more inspired by him and his crew's mentality. "All my partners king, everybody got some paper, everybody move like I move, and they morals and all that," Dolph explained. A PR move quieting concerns of a brewing war for the crown of Memphis rap. March 2nd, 2016. Black Youngster says he'll slap Young Dolph. The Young Dolph and Yo Gotti beef began to take a turn for the worse on March 2nd, 2016, when Gotti's CMG artist Black Youngster posted a clip on his Instagram account going at Dolph and calling into question his claim of being King of Memphis. "Dolph, you a B. You a soft A ninja. If you got a problem, say you got a problem," said Youngster in the video, which has since been removed from his Instagram account. He then went on to further diss Dolph, calling him a B, a ninja, before adding, "You ain't even no King of Memphis. You ain't from the city, B." He would also threaten Young Dolph in the post caption, writing, "When I see that ninja at Young Dolph, I'ma smack the S out of him on my life," leaving no question to the drama between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti being as real as the rumors had suggested. March 2nd, 2016. Black Youngster shows up in Young Dolph's neighborhood. After first levying threats against Young Dolph on behalf of Yo Gotti, Black Youngster upped the ante by showing up in Young Dolph's stomping grounds in Memphis with a few of his goons. Capturing the scene on video, Black Youngster and his crew took a stroll through South Memphis' Castalia neighborhood on the hunt for Young Dolph while armed with heavy artillery. Although Black Youngster and company would not run into Dolph, the clip was enough to know that his particular beef is deeper than rap and would soon turn into a bloodbath in the streets of Memphis. March 12, 2016. Yo Gotti speaks on Black Youngster's beef with Young Dolph. Now, when Black Youngster began dissing Young Dolph, many believed that Yo Gotti was responsible for his artist's decision to take the beef.
Guess what? Now, and that's one thing we can always also depend on. See, Gotti and Black Youngster, they're gonna fucking battle it out to the death they goddamn self. You see, this coward ass nigga, sick black punkster, that little mental patient on Dolph. Now he regretted because Black Youngster turning on him because Gotti done ruined his life and all his brothers is dead and there's nowhere for him to hide. He know he on borrowed time too.
Into his own hands. But the CMG boss would state otherwise. During an interview with Tim Westwood, Yo Gotti refused to address a beef with Young Dolph, but would comment on Black Youngster's recent antics and threats against Gotti's rival. Little homie on the team, so I'm going to always give him the proper advice that I believe I should give him from like a big brother standpoint or just being the homie standpoint, Gotti said in the clip. My advice, I don't move like that. I'm going to always tell not only him, but any youngin', don't handle your business like this. March 16, 2016. Young Dolph disses Yo Gotti and Black Youngster. Now, after taking the high road for the most part in regards to his beef with Yo Gotti and Black Youngster, on March 16, 2016, Young Dolph responded with a few words of his own via his Instagram account. Posting a series of clips, Dolph didn't hold back, accusing Gotti of hating on Memphis rap legends like 3-6 Mafia, 8-Ball MJG, and others, as well as sending Black Youngster to fight his battle and calling the cops on him. First thing first, everybody know it's you, Ho Gotti, that's sending your artist out to say the lame S he been saying and doing, Dolph wrote in his Instagram caption, adding, I guess you still mad because I didn't never sign with your PA. Or is you still in your feelings because you fell out with Gucci Mane and you was mad at me because I kept rocking with Gucci? He would later post a picture of a slew of the Memphis rap acts who paved the way for him, all the while continuing to chastise and belittle Yo Gotti, officially getting the beef going and putting the CMG boss / rapper on notice. March 17, 2016. Black Youngster releases song dissing Young Dolph. Now, in response to Young Dolph's comments about him and Yo Gotti, Black Youngster would waste little time in returning the favor in the form of a diss track called Shake Some. Released on March 17, 2016, a day after Dolph's comment, Shake Some saw Black Youngster discrediting Young Dolph's ties to Memphis and his claim to being a king in the city. Adolph don't want to play ho, I'm on tour with the K-Ho, Mac 11, Smith & Wesson's, extended clip 100 rounds on the Draco. How the F you the king of Memphis, you ain't from the city, ninja you from Chicago. F boy, you better lay low. The killers move when I say so, the CMG artist spits, as he reiterated his feelings about his mentor's friend turned foe. September 9th, 2016. Black Youngster squashes beef with Young Dolph. Now, on September 9th, 2016, months after exchanging words with Young Dolph, Black Youngster declared the beef as squashed during an interview, sharing that Yo Gotti actually liked Young Dolph despite their tension. Youngster laid the beef to rest on his end, but Dolph would not acknowledge that the war words were over, leaving the door open for further turmoil. February the 1st, 2017, Young Dolph drops Play With Yo Bitch. Now, Young Dolph dropped a bomb in the form of Play With Yo Bitch, a diss track levied against Yo Gotti, and saw the rising star taking the gloves off and throwing jabs below the belt. In addition to vicious broadsides like I don't know no gangsters that beef with dykes and alluding to having relations with the mother of Gotti's child, Dolph also paints his nemesis as a hater, rapping, "You came up rapping, dissing 3-6 Mafia." Release and promotion of Dolph's Gelato mixtape, Play What You'll Be, continues the beef between him and Yo Gotti, proving that all love between the two was certainly lost. And also, he threw a shot at Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, claiming that since he was a B, he's going to call him his sister. February the 1st, 2017, Yo Gotti responds to Dolph's diss track. Now, with Yo Gotti taking the high road and staying silent on his beef with Young Dolph, many were curious as to what his response would be to Dolph's scathing diss track, Play With Your Bitch. But fans did not have to wait long to have that question answered. Hopping on social media shortly after the song was released, Yo Gotti would subliminally allude to being unbothered and unconcerned with his counterpart's words, boasting of his partnership with heavyweights like Jay-Z and L.A. Reid, and posting a photo of himself with the caption, "Never distracted." However, this would be Gotti's only acknowledgement of the diss song, as he would not unleash one of his own. February the 9th, 2017, Young Dolph accuses Yo Gotti of sneak dissing him on songs. Now, due to Black Youngster publicly deading the beef between himself, Yo Gotti, and Young Dolph, many were taken back by Dolph's decision to drop a diss song and reignite the beef. However, Young Dolph would expand on his course of action and what inspired it on February the 9th, 2017, during an appearance on DJ Holiday's radio show. His last two mixtapes, he's trying to sneak diss Dolph. Dolph said, referring to Yo Gotti, "It's like you playing. You want to play? I ain't going to play how you want to play. We're going to play how I want to play. I'm going to expose you." Facts on top of facts. He don't know how to respond because there ain't no response. The mixtape Dolph was referring to was Cocaine Music 9, White Friday, and Gotti's studio album, The Art of the Hustle. The latter of which outsold Dolph's King of Memphis album, which was released on the same day. February 11, 2017, Yo Gotti drops diss track aimed at Young Dolph. Now, keeping silent and refusing to entertain beef between himself and Young Dolph, Yo Gotti appeared to have had enough, unleashing a diss track of his own titled "Don't Beef With Me" on February the 11th, 2017. Opting to not call out Young Dolph's name, Gotti would instead play the subliminal game, resulting in the record, which featured CMG artists Moneybagg Yo and Black Youngster, amounting to more of a warning shot than an all-out attack. February the 24th, 2017, Young Dolph releases Play With Your B video. Now, building on the momentum of his Play With Your Bitch diss track, Young Dolph doubled down on this attack on Yo Gotti, unveiling an accompanying music video to further poke fun at the CMG boss. Casting a Yo Gotti lookalike individual, Dolph would make a mockery of his enemy without an ounce of remorse. February 25th, 2017, Young Dolph's vehicle gets shot up. Now, the rap community was straight shook when it was reported that Young Dolph was a target of a shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina, in which over 100 rounds were fired at his vehicle. Now, as luck would have it, Dolph was unscathed due to the SUV he was riding in being bulletproof, but the incident did little to faze the Memphis rapper. He hit the stage at the local venue later that night, where he performed his Yo Gotti diss track, Play With Your Bitch, a sign that what many deemed as a message in relation to his beef with Yo Gotti was not a deterrent to him standing on business. March 7, 2017, Young Dolph refers to Yo Gotti beef as old news. Now, spending much of February 2017 waging war against Yo Gotti, Young Dolph appears to be over the situation and focus on the future instead of the past. That's old news, you know what I'm saying? It's old, Dolph said during an interview on March 7, 2017, when he asked about his beef with Yo Gotti. Young Dolph would also keep it scarce in regards to his comments about the Charlotte shooting that had occurred weeks earlier. Whether that means the beef between the two Memphis rap had died down for good was yet to be seen, but it appeared that the battle had been put to rest for that time being. September 26, 2017, Young Dolph is shot in Hollywood. Now, months after declaring his beef with Yo Gotti as old news, news broke that Young Dolph was the victim of a shooting in Hollywood and rushed to the hospital. While details were scarce, it was reported that Dolph was outside Shoe Palace near the intersection of Hollywood and Highland at the time of the shooting. September 26, 2017. Yo Gotti named person of interest in Young Dolph shooting. Now, hours after reports of rapper Young Dolph being shot in Hollywood, news broke that Yo Gotti was named a person of interest by the LAPD. Now, sources said that Yo Gotti and Young Dolph were both staying at the Loas Hotel at the time of the shooting, and members of both entourages got into an argument that escalated into a fist fight, which ended in gunfire, leaving Young Dolph wounded. September 27, 2017. LAPD says Yo Gotti not a person of interest in Young Dolph shooting. Now, following reports of the Young Dolph being shot in Hollywood, TMZ reported that the LAPD had named Yo Gotti as a person of interest in connection to the shooting. However, it was later clarified that those reports were unfounded when XXL reached out to LAPD. September 27, 2017. Yo Gotti associate charged with attempted murder in Young Dolph shooting. Now, a day after news broke of Young Dolph's being shot in Hollywood, LAPD announced that an associate of Yo Gotti was charged with attempted murder in connection to the incident. According to Detective Megan Aguilar, a spokeswoman for the LAPD, Corey McClendon, a member of Yo Gotti's entourage, was arrested the day after the shooting and held on a $1 million bail. At the time of McClendon's arrest, LAPD were still looking for two other men believed to have been involved in the fight with Young Dolph that could possibly be connected to the shooting. September 28, 2017. Yo Gotti associate released without charges. After being arrested on suspicion of attempted murder the day prior in connection to the attempt on Young Dolph's life, Yo Gotti associate Corey McClendon was released without charges. Law enforcement have yet to make any other arrests in connection to that investigation. November the 17th, 2021. Young Dolph is gunned down while at Makita's Cookies in Memphis. Big Jook is seen in a photo with the man that orchestrated the hit by the name of Hernandez Govan, and the streets take notice. Black youngster disrespects the grave of Young Dolph, and Big Jook goes live and makes fun of the death of Young Dolph. Now, several CMG associates are arrested and charged with Dolph's murder. January 2024. Yo Gotti big brother Big Jook is shot and killed after a funeral at a repast in Memphis at Perinon's restaurant. The assailant shot Jook 10 times, and it was reported that a switch was used to carry out the attack. Yo Gotti's mother was almost a victim in the shooting as well, but she fled from the vehicle while shots were being fired. Memphis police revealed that it was a targeted hit, and they caught the assailant's vehicle on surveillance. They also said that they had identified one suspect, and they are looking to identify other suspects.
Now, this is one case that Yo Gotti definitely cannot run from. It's just time, man. I mean, he already distanced himself from Angela Simmons. Now it looks like, oh boy, being released. Yo Gotti's definitely going to be up next. Y'all let me know how y'all.
Does it feel to be at the end of this 4-year journey that you've been on?
It feels great. Just feel like I've been born again. I get a chance to restart my life and do some positive things.
Do you think that this verdict will change how the court system is working here in Memphis?
As corrupt as this system is, I doubt it.
I had already recorded this story, but I want to add a beginning point so you understand. I think there's a high likelihood that someone in the Memphis Police Department or some group purposely erected roadblocks in the Young Dolph investigation to finding the truth. They substituted in or they played up Hernandez Govan and never questioned Big Jook, even though his name was mentioned from the very beginning by the person eventually who admitted to being one.
He's saying some group. We know what group it is. It's the Boule. the Greek Freaks, the fraternal shoe shiners.
One of the shooters and who was the star witness in all the cases. They never attempted, not to say that Jook and Gotti would have submitted or Jook would have submitted to an investigation or to questioning, but they never attempted it. There appeared to be no. Jook's name was mentioned from the very start. Why did the Memphis Police Department not attempt to question him? Why was there seemingly no investigation against him? Police corruption is the source of a lot of, is the reason, like cities that are really bad, neighborhoods that are really bad, this stuff can't happen without some police being involved. So I'm not accusing anybody in particular, but the lead detective at the least did a very bad job. Why was Jook never questioned? He was alive for 2 years beforehand. So remember to like, share, and subscribe, and then we'll get into the story I just did. Hernandez Govan, the so-called mastermind of young Dolph's untimely demise, not guilty in Memphis, as I predicted. I broke down the case in my last video. His lawyer did an excellent job pointing out, well, his lawyer just pointed out what was glaringly obviously the police did not pursue that. The Memphis police appear to be protecting, well, they appear to have been protecting Big Jook. I won't make the extension and say Gotti because there's really...
They don't give a shit about no Jook. They're protecting Gotti.
Smoking gun, well, just for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, prosecutor's office charged that Hernandez Govan connected the other guy who's a rapper Straight Drop and Cornelius Smith, the one who testified in this case, who was the main evidence, with Anthony Mims, aka Big Jook, aka Yo Gotti's big brother, to collect on a series of bounties on artists, on Young Dolph and any, really probably any of his artists, anyone signed to Paper Route. Is it Paper Route Entertainment? No, Paper Route Empire. The PRE, Paper Route Empire. But the most powerful moment of the trial, Hernandez Govan's lawyer did an excellent job and pulled up the earliest statements, which are probably most likely to be true. And she didn't say anything about Hernandez Govan. She said it came from Jook. This trial did not do a very good job of proving that without Hernandez Govan, there is no murder of Dolph. Hernandez Govan certainly introduced Cornelius Smith to Jook, but the other shooter, Jook already knew. And from their initial meeting, all that was said was, this is little C. Jook ended up getting his number. Now, Cornelius Smith was so poor, I don't think him having a phone, like there was no way for him to stay in touch with Jook or anybody else. He probably would have a phone, wouldn't have a phone. The guy that killed your favorite independent, we loved Young Dolph for his music and also his business acumen. He truly was independent. And he was killed by a guy that buys single cigarettes. Cornelius Smith testified to buying a single cigarette. His immediate reward after killing young Dolph, and Dolph's brother shot him, another guy. This guy, Hernandez Govan, who just beat the case, gave him $40. Which, again, doesn't sound like the mastermind of a murder. Sounds like a pool of people that, just had a bunch of low-life shit going on and trying to make Hernandez the mastermind. Now, he probably got away with committing a crime. I'm not gonna deny that, but First-degree murder is what they charge him with. It's the easiest charge to get found not guilty of because a jury takes it very, very seriously, right? In a lot of other cases, a jury may just look at you and decide, oh, you seem like a criminal, we don't like you. In a first-degree murder where you're going to get life, they really listen to the evidence. And the fact that the earliest statements were about Big Jook and not Hernandez Govan paying off, and that's who needed to be contacted, and that's who the hit came from, and that this guy Q, aka Quet, aka Hernandez Govan, his name comes in later after they've been questioned several times as if someone suggested they start mentioning him more. And when they went and got that retired detective, I guess he lives in Michigan now. There's a couple detectives that got questioned. There was the white sheriff who kind of hurt the prosecution case. There was the white Memphis cop who seemed like, I mean, he was kind of disturbing that he was even a police officer. He didn't seem very competent. And the black cop who had been the lead, who retired, he retired while handling the case. And the white detective testified that he didn't even know. He was like, yeah, I knew he theoretically retired, but I didn't know what day. How do you not know? Like, that's crazy. How do you not know your coworker in a murder case retired? Like, I've had regular jobs. Like, I worked in a university setting before. And, like, you know, if you're in a project and the coworker that's the lead on a project retires, like, there's a process. Like, I think they're protecting. They were, at the least, they were protecting Jook. Now, whether Jook and Yo Gotti had something going on in terms of planning going after Dolph, I don't think we'll ever know. If we do see a indictment against Yo Gotti for some sort of conspiracy, it's probably not going to come from this case. Remember that there was three. It took the day Dolph was killed. That was the fourth documented homicide attempt on him. 2 in Charlotte, 1 in Los Angeles. A person went to prison in North Carolina. That was a CMG. There was a CM. When did that start playing for? There was a CMG employee, and then also in LA, Yo Gotti was right there. They were at the Shoe Palace, and Yo Gotti's like security guard shoots Dolph in the parking lot. They're all right there. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. It's like totally crazy. CMG was after that guy, like gang war, like they were, you know. So there could be some other weak link against Gotti. I think Gotti has brought his career to a standstill. Does Gotti put out music? And it's hard to separate the rumors. You see so much fake information on the internet. I mean, they're talking about Black Youngster is broke ties with them and is mad at Gotti. I don't know. Is anybody on here from Memphis? Like, what's really up with Youngster and Gotti and CMG? This is quite a turn of events. I mean, Dolph has a lot of fans. This is an embarrassment, I guess, for the city of Memphis. But you know, they were trying to pin it on Hernandez, but he had something to do with it, and he probably got away with something there. But he wasn't the mastermind. He's a middle-aged, older guy living in the ghetto, selling retail amounts of fake pills out of his own house. There was no plan. These guys had to steal their own. They randomly got a stolen car one day from some other guy who was a killer and a carjacker and said, let's go. They were just riding around looking for anybody from Paper Route Entertainment. And there's Dolph's camouflage Lambo. There he is. And Dolph was not moving, as we say, militant. He should have had a second layer of security. Now, if you learn anything from Dolph's demise, for those of you that move around and someone might want to do something to you, you need to have concentric circles of layers of security, right? So none of your security has to be that perfect, but you have layers. So the problem is Dolph goes into the store with his brother, who was security, who had a gun and who did shoot the other two guys. He didn't kill them, but if your security is 6 feet away from you, by the time your security knows what's happening, obviously the people are very near to you. All he would have had to do was have one other person with him. Really, two would have been better, but even have one other person. Whenever you go somewhere, if you got a problem, let me tell you something how to move a security trick. If you just always leave somebody in one layer before they get to you. So there should be someone outside. So you have a doorman outside the door, like at a real drug spot or gambling or stash house. You have somebody out on the street. And then anyone that's approaching the house is going to get approached by them. They can call and alert the inside. And then there's a door, and then there's someone behind the door. And then you still got to get to where the target is, whether the target is stealing something, killing somebody. Dolph should have always had a third person. So that's your simple. If you need to move around security, move around with at least two people. You don't have them both with you. You leave one in the outer layer. You leave one outside. You going in the store, they stay outside the store. You going in a house, they sit outside in the car on the block. They patrol or they watch the block, and someone else is inside with you. But Hernandez Govan, that was a weak case. It really was. I mean, it all boiled down to the fact that he just introduced them guys, but they didn't talk to Hernandez Govan for 2 weeks leading up to the murder. And he's not the first person they called when it was done. Straight drop, the other shooter was FaceTime and Big Jook. Straight drop got paid. He waved the money around in a music video. This is great. This is not now general America or black people in the suburbs. You're getting to see how poorly run institutions are in the bad areas of the bad cities, and this is why crime is high. It's not because people are the same everywhere. People in a poor neighborhood with a lot of murders are no worse than anybody anywhere else. It's just you can get away with a lot more. The ghetto is the devil's playground. Memphis is the devil's playground. Is Yo Gotti the devil? Is the question that we're all interested in at this point. What do you think? Now, I'm very interested in who the hell killed Big Jook. Like, there's been no leads at all in that case. This young Dolph they had people in custody within a couple days because these guys were clowns. And if it wasn't for the guy who testified, the guy who was getting paid in pills, counterfeit X and oxys, the guy who buys loose cigarettes with the girlfriend with the dollar store outfit in court, he was the one who killed Dolph. The other guy barely, if it was up to him, it wouldn't have happened. I think he did get out and shoot, but and the police, like, you're dependent on the Memphis Police Department to get you some justice. You ain't gonna get it. This was a total incompetence. That black officer that was the lead detective, did just his body language, he was just on the stand like, Hernandez Govan's lawyer asked that guy. The white cop didn't even seem like a police officer. He was so incompetent. The black cop was like, he said, so the first person they told you paid for it or that was behind it was Big Jook. And you never interviewed him. He said, we didn't get to it. He said it had been 2 years. What do you mean you didn't get to it? They had their fall guys. They knew straight drop wasn't going to tell. I mean, there are some people that they won't tell. And if you're living a certain type of way, when you go to jail, it's not that much different. And if you stay high, so if straight drop, they keeping some good heroin for straight drop to snort on, or some of them fentanyl pills. You don't care. He laying in the cell. He good for now. He may wake up from his stupor one day, but and if you think you can't stay high on hard drugs in jail, stay tuned for my upcoming documentary, Beyond Street Dreams. It's about a lot of things, but the main plot line about the Brown family, part 2 of Motown Mafia. One of the girlfriends of the boss man, the father, Courtney Brown Sr., got caught getting like 15 keys of pure H from the Pakistani plug. They're picking it up in San Francisco. She had to do like 8 years in the feds. She stayed 360 every day of every year. She had some H to snort. They were sending it to her. So if you got people on the outs that are criminal, that are with money, the prison systems now are flooded with drugs. You have a guard, you pay a guard to bring it in. So he's probably in there high and he's out of it. He doesn't care at this point. He may wake up and want to give some more info, but I personally think it's highly likely Big Jook may have done this on his own. I showed the video clip in the last video from the end of the Baller Alert Young Dolph video, where he has a guy that looks like Big Jook dressed up in a CMF t-shirt, and and he fronts him some work, and he said, my brother ain't been fucking with me. Now I call him your big sister. Used to be your brother, now I call him your big sister. Jook was called a bitch in public. So I think the Gotti and Jook and them have a reputation. They were like the lowlifes of the street game, maybe the runoff people. Mr. Ian said, how come Yo Gotti and Big Jook never met Craig Petty's and he named all these other guys. Craig Petty's, if you don't know, possibly bigger than Big Meech out of Memphis. Direct plug with La Barbie, Beltran Levi, Sinaloa, C.A. Artel. Craig Petty's left Memphis and hid out in Mexico for several years. The Mexicans hit him in Mexico. He was sending hits and bricks from Mexico to Memphis. So Memphis is a hub of distribution and of use, and a lot of action happens there. So something more is to this case, because Govan has been found not to be the mastermind. But who the hell killed Big Jook? Just like I predicted his not guilty verdict, I'm going to predict you this. If there ever is any charges, like if there ever is any type of RICO or some federal thing with Gotti and CMG, and I'm not necessarily predicting there will, because at this point, it may be all the loose ends might be tied up. If there is, there's going to be some Memphis law enforcement because it sure seems like in the beginning when Cornelius and his girlfriend were making statements, they were saying Big Jook's name, and that got substituted in this Quet Hernandez Govan Q got inserted in between. And the fact that Jook got killed just made it kind of weird. The person they were protecting now was dead, but the case had to go on. And maybe that's why they didn't, it was like that black detective didn't even care. He had been the lead detective on the Dolph murder case, and he was sitting on that stand like...
They give a shit about Jook. They would still protect the main principle to protect this Gotti. The bag is still alive and kicking, and they can shake him down for more now. They give a shit about no goddamn Jook. That's why they hurry up and whacked his goddamn ass before he got arrested and brought the whole CMG down. Then they couldn't shake Gotti down anymore. He couldn't be their cash cow for the Memphis Boule.
Like, he really didn't care that the mastermind, so-called, of the hit, Hernandez Govan, was on trial. He has such... Go back and watch my last video, or we can break his down in another video, but we need to investigate that lead. I'm glad I talked myself into this. We're going to look into
my video.
The lead detective.
Lead detective. They look into him
because he sure did a poor job, and he did not seem very emotionally invested on the stand. Hernandez Govan not guilty. Justice for Dolph has been partially served. She was straight drop Justin Johnson doing life. Cornelius Smith now is testifying in 2 different trials. He has yet to plead guilty. The fact that Hernandez was found not guilty, his lawyer, he's not, when it comes to him telling and them giving him a reward, they shouldn't really hold that against him. I'm sure promises were made off the record. He's going to probably do his time out of state.
He did, man.
He'll probably do 10 or 12 years.
Go figure. Follow me.